Hey, welcome to my channel. This is going to be an update video. I started this channel back in late spring. It's now late fall, and I want to provide a few updates to some of my early videos, and the yard in general. As you can tell, the yard is in full fall mode, but unfortunately it doesn't look as good as it did last year. My guess is because of the hot, dry summer we've had. I did make a video of the 3 Leyland Cypresses in the back. Planted those about 2 or 3 years ago, and I planted them too deep and I dug the holes too small. The nursery suggested that I dig the holes the same size as the containers, which is not good advice. That resulted in very little to no growth. The 2 Leylands in the front are the ones I made a video on. I'll link that above, and they are doing great. As you can see, that one is really close to the Bradford Pear. My goal is to see how the Bradford Pear looks after a year or two of growth. Then I expect to cut it down once the Leyland gets established. The main purpose is to keep the privacy. This is the Yoshino Cherry tree I made a video on showing the mess of roots. Again, I planted this one too deep and in too small of a hole. This spring, the tree looked horrible, so I tried to save it. After doing what I did in the above video, link above, it did show some signs of life and new growth, and I'm eager to see how this thing's going to look in the spring. And then there's this Bradford Pear. This thing is huge. I don't know how it's not split yet, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to top or cut this one down here in the winter. Here are my holly bushes. I made a couple videos of those, one putting the mulch in and another doing the trimming. I'm not sure I posted the trimming video yet. And there's a water heater that I recently removed and installed a new one. I got a video of that coming up soon too. And then there's this. This is a new tulip poplar tree. This thing looks awesome. It is way better shape than the one I planted in one of my first videos. This thing just looks healthy as can be, and I'm looking forward to planting it, and that is also a video to come soon. And coming up here is the tulip poplar that I have a video on where I planted it from start to finish. The leaves aren't looking so good. I didn't water it enough, but I've changed that. And it is also fall, so that is part of it. And as you can see there is my new lead. It did have a new bud on it and it looked really good, but then the weather turned cold and it kind of died. But I think it's going to be perfect, and I can't wait to see that in the spring as well. And that is another Yoshino Cherry that's doing great. All the leaves have fell off because it's fall. And then here is a Bradford Pear that I topped. And the main reason for not cutting that down is I just want to see how it looks after a couple of years. And here are a couple burning bushes. Man, these things look amazing during the fall. Bright red colors. They're not as bright as they were last year, but they still look great. But one concern I have with these is they are growing a little bit close to my condenser unit, so I'm going to have to cut those back. I'm going to wait till the leaves fall off and do some trimming. And here are 3 more hollies. They're going to be included in a trimming video, and I also need to put some mulch on there, probably before the winter. That looks horrible. And then there's this guy. This is the 3rd Yoshino Cherry that I planted 2 years ago. It did not make it. This spring it looked a lot worse than the other one, so I didn't even try to put the corrective measures in place that I did on the other one. I just let it go. It sprouted some very small leaves, and then eventually they all fell off, so I'm going to have to pull that one out of the ground. And this guy here is another giant Bradford Pear that I'm going to have to top or cut down. I don't know how it's not split, and my neighbor's got a shed right next to it, so if this thing splits and falls into their shed, it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt. And then there's some of the other Bradford Pears. I'm not as concerned about those because they're in the back of the yard. That one that split and it's half a tree, I'm going to cut that one down later in the fall or maybe early winter when the leaves fall off. And these are my last 2 burning bushes. I trimmed those midsummer and they never really fully recovered. They've not looked that great, so just a mental note, don't do that again. Do all my trimming at some other time, not midsummer. Hey, if you like this video and you want to see some more updates in my yard in the future, be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for stopping by.